this is a moment I've been waiting for my whole professional life. So this is very important. Late last summer, Emily was in Seattle. Nick called Sam and I, and he wanted to come over for a visit. And I thought, well, that's very Nick-like because he's such a friendly guy. He really is. He wanted to touch base with us. So Nick came over. Sam and Nick and I sat down and chatted. Half hour, 45 minutes. Sam eventually went into the kitchen to check on the meal, and Nick said to me, "Can you come out on the porch?" Right then I thought, okay. So Nick said, you know, he was nervous, and I loved that. And he said, I want to ask permission to marry your daughter. And I said, oh my. I said, Nick, you know we love you, and we're thrilled, but I just have one requirement. Uh-oh. And that was, you guys got to move back to Michigan. Once again, I was overruled. But thrilled that the events are going to take place. But first, as a dad, you got to give me a minute to talk about my little girl. Growing up in a house with two aggressive brothers and stepsister, Emily always showed a calmness about her. She always stayed above the drama, and always appreciated that about her. All the craziness going on in the house, Emily was the sweetheart that would just kind of step back and stay calm. I remember one dinner, my parents were over at the time. Emily was maybe 15, her siblings were a little older, a little younger. And there at the dinner table was somebody trying to convince somebody of something. Mark was saying something, Jamie tried to get him to agree, Rachel had an opinion. Finally, he looked at Emily and said, Emily, what do you think? And Emily said, I don't negotiate with terrorists. And that was a classic Emily. My dad, may rest in peace, my dad doubled over in laughter. He remembered that moment. But that was Emily. So Nick, I tell you, you've got a real gem with Emily. She has a gem with you. But I'm a daddy speaking, and I just think you've got a real sweetheart here. Much like both her grandmothers, Emily's very interested in people. She's not nosy, she's interested. She's very involved. She's a very determined, caring young woman. She's always been that way. She makes her own way and makes her own path. Yes, as a little girl, even, she would go to Tiger games with the family because that's what we did. And she and Rachel would go to the top row in the upper deck at Tiger Stadium and have their Barbie bag. They would play Barbies, the rest of us watched the Tiger game, and we were all happy. Her involvement with dance was something that thrilled the family her whole life. Emily is a very talented dancer and has done it since she was probably about 3 years old. We always enjoyed watching her dance and perform. But probably the turning point for me was when we dropped her off at Michigan State as an incoming freshman. And as we were driving away, Emily had a little tear in her eye, and I had a little tear in my eye, because this was the turning point, and I knew my little girl was growing up, and she was then blossoming into the young woman that she is today. And that was a real change for me, but it was wonderful to see that transition. From there, a year later, she wanted to go to Africa to do some charity work, and I said, Emily, how about riding your bike around the block first? You just have this adventurous way about her. And she did. She went to grad school here in Chicago. And then, woohoo, shout out for Chicago. And, she went on her own to India with friends. She went on her own to Ireland. She's very adventurous, got involved in charity work. And she's a beautiful young woman today. Her relationship with Nick continued. Now, yeah, they separated for a little while. Nick went to Korea. Emily was doing her stuff. But eventually they came back together, and we were all elated for that. I think I can speak for all the Renos that we're thrilled to have Nick part of our family. I know he adores Emily, cares deeply for her, and Emily for Nick. So we're thrilled with that. And gee whiz, how do you not love Nick? He loves golf and craft beer. And baseball. So, today I want to raise the glass. Thank you all for joining us today. All came from afar, and I appreciate that. And here's a toast to a long, healthy, happy marriage for Nick and Emily.